There's three of us today. I'm so excited. I can't. I mean, I'm almost speechless today to have you here. I'm so excited to hear your story. All right, Kelly, I'm going to let you introduce our guest today. I'm so excited she's here.
Okay, great. This is Diana Jordan, and we've got a little bit of a history together. We started training together around 2004, and I guess Diana came to me because she was wanting to get ready for a Miss Fitness competition, and I think that was about 2005. And, it was funny because I knew Diana really made me step my game up a little bit because back in 2004, when I would write down a workout program or a workout or a nutrition plan, I would do it on a piece of paper. And I think the next time she came in, she had her own little folder with tabs. It had it separated from, the proteins, the carbs, and the fats, and her regular diet versus her competition diet. And so I actually had to step it up a little bit, and I've been doing that ever since. I give a little bit better, more computer-printed workouts and nutrition plans. But so her first show, you got second place, I believe. Looked incredible. And then I guess it was about, you're going to correct me on some of these dates, but it may be around 2018. I think that I had called, and we were going to set up a workout, and Dinah never got back with me. And that was strange. I knew something had to be wrong because she was always like very professional and always, called back right on time. And it was probably about 2 to 3 days later, I got a call from her sister who I had met, and she had asked me if I had heard about what happened. And I don't really watch TV, and I'm sure it was all over the news, but there was a huge incident that happened in Longview. And that was why she hadn't called me back. And I'll kind of let you take over with the story from there.
So from there, the story. So what happened is February 15th of 2018, 5 years ago, I was coming out of a tanning salon. I had just gotten sprayed. My soon-to-be ex-husband and I separated in December. So no history of abuse. He was just controlling, and just the marriage was strained. So I decided to leave him in December of 2017. So 7 weeks and 5 days later, after leaving him, I was coming out of a tanning salon. It was almost 7 p.m. He attacked me. So I was getting in my vehicle. I don't remember the attack, so everything is just kind of eyewitness accounts and the police account. So from what the eyewitness said, who saw the whole thing, again, I have no memory, was that we were talking, I was getting in my vehicle, and we were having words. He pulled me out of my vehicle, and she immediately, thank God, called the police and, was like, he's hurting her. So her daughter was working at a pet store in Longview, and so she put her younger daughter in there, and she was running down to help me. And she said that there was a gun in my face, and there was a struggle, and he was choking me and hitting my head on my vehicle.
Oh, my.
So I'm trying to honk to get help, and I was screaming. And at that point, the tanning bed lady came out, and she was running down. So a gun goes off, and I kind of fall back into my seat, and the lady falls down, and then the tanning bed lady are just standing there, and they're like, oh my gosh. And so one of the tanning bed lady was like, he just hurt her, he shot her. And then the older lady, her kids from the pet store was like, Mom, come inside. So very traumatic for them. Luckily, I don't remember the attack, but so I'm bleeding out. So the bullet actually went into my femoral artery, severed my artery, and it shattered my femur. So I'm bleeding out. And he turned the gun on himself, shoots himself in the chest, and he falls on top of me, compresses my artery, or I would have bled out and died.
Wow.
So, great story.
I don't even know where to begin. I've got so many questions for you, but let's start. A lot of people can't see us. Some of us can if they're watching us on video. But I want to tell you, first of all, you are absolutely gorgeous.
Thank
You're
you.
beautiful.
Thank you.
And when I walked in here, she is absolutely beautiful. I just want you to know that, first of all. And how old were you when this happened?
So it happened 5 years ago now, and I'll be 52 this year.
52 this year. Do you have any children?
No.
No children.
He had children from a previous marriage.
And tell me again, how long have you been married to this guy?
So the whole story is just incredible. I mean, a testament of God and his grace and glory. There's no other words around it. So he was my oldest brother's best friend. Our families had known each other since the 70s. So I knew him very well. He knew my family. Our families knew each other. So we started dating in 2010, and then we married in 2013. And then I left in December of 2017.
But there was no history of violence. There was
No
no
history of
history
violence.
of him losing his mind. So it sounds like he lost his mind. Wow.
Yeah,
That is absurd.
it is absurd.
Totally absurd. So your life changed in an instant then.
In an instant.
In an instant. So tell us a little bit about what happened after that. But let me tell you, ask so that listeners know, what is your background? What were you doing?
So I am a nurse practitioner. My background was ER medicine, and I was actually in private practice. I had finished nurse practitioner school in 2016 and was doing family practice at that point. Had just gotten in a clinic, everything that I wanted to do. And then we ended up separating in 2017.
So y'all were actually separated, not living in the same household
Right.
when all of this happened.
Right.
And you had no idea he was going to be standing there when you walked out of the tanning salon?
No.
And had y'all fought or anything over the phone or something leading up to that?
So he had been stalking me, showing up places where I was. I went out of town one weekend and my tires mysteriously got slashed.
Oh, my.
So just really uncomfortable, uneasy things were going on. So I reported everything to the police. You know, it was very important that there was a paper trail of everything that was going on. Unfortunately, it's very hard to press charges of stalking, and it's very hard to prove. So, I mean,
And
like after the
especially with
fact.
domestic,
It's
it's
after the
domestic, and a lot of times the police won't get involved in that.
right. So we had restraining orders. And then actually the day I got shot, the judge signed a protective order. That morning, the judge signed the protective order, and then I was shot that afternoon.
Oh my gosh. So you don't know the answer to this, but do you think that when he shot you, did he think you were dead?
Probably. I mean, medical, I'm sure there's a lot of blood everywhere. You only have a few minutes before you completely bleed out and die when it hits your femoral artery. So,
Wow.
probably.
So he shoots himself and actually falls back into you, and it cuts that and puts that pressure on there that you needed. So you don't remember the paramedics showing up or
I don't remember anything a week before the attack.
a week before?
A week before.
Wow.
There's nothing. And then I just remember waking up in the hospital.
Okay, that was my next question. So you woke up in the hospital, and what'd they tell you?
So I woke up probably, and I had everything wrong. I died 5 times. There's no reason I should be alive. At this point, I was septic twice, multi-organ failure, DIC. I was intubated and trached and on a ventilator, and my bowels perfed, and I had daily surgery. So I had over 60 products of blood and over 30 surgeries in 6 weeks. So I woke up probably 6 weeks into the recovery. And then my family told me what happened, and I wasn't surprised. I was at peace. I mean, I told my family, I was like, I told you he was going to get me. You know, I kept on.
You knew this something was going to happen because he was just not there.
When your sister had called, and she was working at the blood bank. So tell that story.
So I worked at Longview Regional in the ER there, so I knew all of the people that worked on me.
You worked in the ER when you are now a patient in the ER.
Yes,
oh my.
Probably a year prior to me going in. But I knew
Your
all of the physicians.
Are probably flipped when they
didn't know it
you
was
in.
me. So I came in as a Jane Doe because it all happened so quickly. And my sister was over the lab at that time, so she's running in and out of the trauma room bringing blood products, and she didn't know it was me. So her baby sister is fighting for her life, and she's bringing all these blood products. And
so how does she know it's not you? I mean, they don't know your name, but she just
I looked horrible.
Really? Well, he had
one
beat you up, hasn't he?
No one knew it was me.
Oh my word! So you wake up, your family has to tell you what's happened, and tells you that he's gone, and you're at total peace with it.
So I had 3 brain bleeds. Later, I found out. I didn't realize it at that point. So 3 brain bleeds, and I was a little bit slow, kind of waking up, and was like, you know, kind of what was going on, trying to remember what I could. So no, yeah, I wasn't shocked when they told me that he attacked me, and I said, well, you know, I knew he was going to. I kept on telling everyone, but the police just said, you know, just be safe. I mean, do what you can. So
there was no help there from the police. You knew this was going to happen, but there was no help. Even though he didn't have a history of violence,
right.
But you just felt that threat all the time, him stalking. Probably after the tires being slashed, you know, this is not right. Something's going to happen here. Wow. And how long did it go on from the time you separated until this incident happened?
7 weeks and 5 days.
It didn't take long, did it? Didn't
No,
take long.
and, you know, I didn't know much about domestic violence. I had never been in that situation. And, I mean, theoretically, it shouldn't happen to me. I'm educated and, you know, have a good family and married somebody that I know. But it's just.
Talk about your journey now. After you woke up, you've had some surgeries. Obviously, guys, she works out. She is incredible looking.
That's because of it.
I'm telling you, her arms are so buff over here. I'm looking at her. And so, but tell us about what that's like now.
So, post-injury, it's a struggle every day. So people probably can't see, but I lost my entire left leg. So big surgeries. I'm a left hip disarticulation. So I have no hip function. My prosthesis goes around my waist. I wear a prosthesis every day. And that's how I get around. I also use crutches. But it's difficult. I mean, but everybody has their issues that they have to deal with every day. But it's just important to stay active and busy, both mentally and physically. You know, you can't give up.
You can't give up. You had told me a story right before this interview that you rehabbed at your sister's house. And she lives in Chandler. Tell us about your sister a little bit.
My sweet little sister.
Your sweet. Is she older or younger?
She's older. She's probably like 14 years older or 14 months older than me.
Okay.
So she took me into her home and I rehabbed there. And I basically had to learn everything over. I got down to 74 pounds. I was very, very, very thin, very, very, very weak. Everything was a struggle, just transferring from a wheelchair to a bedside commode, or just everything was difficult. But I was determined. From the moment I woke up, I told my physician that I was going to go back to work in a year. And again, I'm a hip dysartic, and we make up less than 1% of all amputations. So it's a super high amputation, and most people don't really walk again. So to go back to work is a very lofty goal. But I've just always had grit and
I
determined.
love this.
And
Your intestines and everything, you had to have how much of that removed?
all of my large intestine. So my bowels perfed, and they had to remove my colon, and
Oh my.
so I had an ileostomy, and that pulled away because my tissue is so friable, delicate, that they had to put in another one. So I had 2 ileostomies, and then I had that reversed, and so pretty much all of 2018 I was really sick, and then all of 2019 I spent trying to get my leg and to learn how to walk again. And then I had to go to Chicago, and I got my prosthesis, and really got that in January of 20, and then I went back to work July of 20, and I've been back to work since.
Wow.
And just
What
determined
incredible.
every day. Even when I was 74 pounds, I was trying to do a squat on the Smith machine. And I went to outpatient rehab, and I was like, I can just do it. So I just went to work out, and then that's when I went back to Kelly, and I was like, you help me.
Well,
You got me there in the first place.
I was up in the physical therapy room, and I saw this girl from behind, and it looked like a little, teenage girl. And then when I got beside her, I saw it was Diana, and I just said, wow, because I hadn't seen her since.
It was shocking.
Yeah.
Um,
and we
I'm so
weighed and
thin.
everything, and she weighed 74 pounds. And the first thing I did is I contacted a nutritionist because I just wanted to make sure if there was any different requirements with what she had. And there wasn't really any difference. And I just had to go figuring all my numbers off of someone who weighed 74 pounds.
Yeah.
And got started, and she said, I want to compete. And I'm thinking once again, well, we got a whole nother situation now. And, but yeah, she got ready and she did great.
And then we competed. A friend and I did last April, I think. We competed, and my friend is competing again this weekend. So, yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So tell us about how you get ready for your competitions now.
So same, working out a lot, and diet. It's really just diet and exercise.
Okay,
only
so
thing-
Hard work.
The only thing that's changed is your suit.
Yeah.
You just had to have
That's
a
right.
suit
Had-
that's made a little bit different.
Yeah,
it
just
only
a
has
little bit
one leg
different.
hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can I ask you, what do you eat? What's your diet like?
So I eat a lot of oatmeal and rice and turkey and chicken and protein shakes and bananas.
What's your favorite protein shake?
The Premier Protein.
Premier Protein. Okay. Okay.
Chocolate peanut butter.
Chocolate peanut butter. Y'all hear that? Chocolate peanut butter.
It's good.
It's kind of interesting to watch too when there may be a guy working out on a machine and we'll work in and she's actually we have to go up on the weight. Like they ask us, do you want to take the weight off? We'll say, no, we'll start with
It's
that.
okay. We got it.
Yeah.
I
So
love
it's very
that.
strong.
I love that. You can tell by looking at her, she's very strong.
And it's good for people in the gym too, because you have people who come in, they're tired, they stayed up late last night, and here comes Diane, kind of with a waddle coming in, and
Yeah.
she's like, you think you're tired, and then that kind of snaps people out of that.
You wear this all day.
Yeah, you can't really say anything. And then it was interesting. One day I told, we're all like, I told her, I said, I hate to tell you this, but, like I had a knee issue, and she asked me how my knee is, and I go, I wouldn't tell you anyway. My knee's going to get better. But I say, I always think about her because, I think I've got something bad. Well, it's not near as bad. And she said, that's kind of what I thought with the quadriplegics.
There is
know?
always someone worse. So just when you think you have it bad, I promise there is always someone that's worse.
Okay, so I got to ask you, mindset. Was your mindset like this before this happened? So you were a very positive, goal-oriented, grit-driven lady before this happened?
Always.
Always. And it didn't change it a bit. Amazing.
In my whole life, that's what I was telling Kelly. I did not have a little golden path to success. I didn't have a wealthy family that put me through college. And, in my family, when you graduated, you had to be gone by that Monday. So you graduate on Friday or Saturday and you have a day or two.
Like graduate high school?
Yeah, high school. and you're gone. They did their job, and now it's your time.
How many siblings do you have?
what you do. I'm the baby of 5.
Baby of 5. Yeah, Mom was ready to kick you out of the nest.
She was. Get out,
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
Wow. So what does your mom think about this? Was your parents real positive people?
So ironically, and thank God, they had both passed.
Oh my. Oh my.
Previously, so they and they knew my husband. So I mean, it would have killed them.
It would have devastated them. Yeah. Well, it would
So-
have devastated them to see what you had to go through. Yeah.
It would have. So
So both of them had passed away. So you had your
prior
siblings.
had my siblings, and they were my lifeline, and they still are.
Oh my
So very
goodness.
close family, and they were there with me every night. So between the 4 of them, I was in the hospital for 30 months, and somebody was with me every day and night.
Wow. 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 So there's a reason you're here.
Mm-hmm.
There's no question.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think it is?
So I think it's an outward sign for people. Originally after the attack happened, they got blood flow to my upper extremity, and they thought I was going to be an above the knee amputee. But I think it was all part of God's plan. I think He absolutely wanted it gone. He wanted the external visual for people to see. I don't ever cover up my prosthesis, and it's for me. Everybody has.
You don't cover it up. You wear leopard on
I
it.
do.
Guys, if you can
I
see this,
do.
she's got the most incredible leopard leg.
I mean, if you have to have a leg, it should be cute.
it is so cute.
So yeah, it's easier for me. I have an active lifestyle, so just life goes on.
Wears it with a dress.
Yeah.
So, okay, the positive outlook, the mindset is everything. Where'd you learn that from? Was it your mama? Was it your daddy?
I think it was both.
Both.
My dad was pretty hard. He was in the military. A lot of people kind of want to feel sorry for themselves. Like they are fortunate to have good parents and to provide them with things, and that's great. But there's a lot of people that don't, and you just have to work for everything. So
Absolutely.
I think I've always worked for everything
You've
my
worked
entire
for-
life.
So, did you put yourself through school?
I did.
I got to ask this question. Did you buy your own first car?
I did.
Oh, this is my soul sister here.
I
I tell you,
did.
I think every kid needs to buy their own first
I
car.
agree.
Because it sets them up for the rest of their
It
lives.
does. I mean, I've been working since I was 10, 12,
Yes.
babysitting.
Yes.
Just transition.
Absolutely.
So went to school.
So many of these parents,
my own education.
oh yeah. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. You bought your own first car.
I did.
I think
Now I'm in my house. I
Bought your own
bought
house.
and
Yeah.
built my house myself and living independently now.
When you say you built your house yourself, let's talk about that a minute. You live in Lindale. Okay, tell us about your house.
So it's in a newer subdivision. I was actually, so I was with my sister. And it's funny, originally I told her, I was like, I'm never leaving. I was just so afraid and so, I can't defend myself. I have one leg. I'm in a wheelchair or crutches. So, I told her, I was like, I'm never going to leave. Well, I rehabbed and got stronger and better. So I was trying to decide where I was wanting to live. Do I want to live in an apartment? It's just difficult, raining and prosthesis and wheelchair, and it's just kind of not the best situation. So one of my friends, I was going to remodel a house, and he was like, I think you should just build a new one. I mean, by the time you tear it down and remodel and all that stuff, you can just build what you need. So that's what I did.
Wow. So you hired your contractors and
I did. My friend was the builder,
Okay.
and he was a contractor.
wow.
So I've had a lot of help along the way. I don't think anyone in this world ever gets by alone.
Absolutely. God
there's-
puts people in your
He does.
path. Yeah, absolutely.
He does.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
We've talked about that before about parents stepping in because you don't want your kids to go through probably what we went through. But I think we overshoot that a little bit and take away a lot of those things that are very teachable, growing, learning moments. And not that we need to go this far.
Yeah, no, I don't
but-
recommend this.
Yeah, but I think the way you had to get out set you up for having a mindset. You're kind of doing this on your own.
Failure was never an option. what are you going to do?
Okay.
You're 17 and you have to make your way in the world. I mean, what do? You pull yourself up by
So
the bootstraps and go.
At what point did you go, I got to get my stuff together here? You know, you're rehabbing with your sister. You knew from the time you woke up, you're rehabbing. Did you ever have those moments, I feel so sorry for myself?
You know, ironically, yes. Probably 5, 10 days in the past 5 years since I was attacked.
5 to 10 days.
Yeah.
That's all.
5 or
Okay.
10.
Okay.
You know, and it was funny.
That's
The first
incredible.
time I was really sad and feeling sorry for myself, and my sister was like, "Come on, you got this. You know, you're strong. You can do this." And I just looked at her and I was like, "Let me have my time. Like, I've been through a lot. I don't have to be strong all the time. So I'm gonna take my time. I'm gonna feel sorry for myself, though I'm not gonna stay here. You know, I'm going to allow myself to grieve. It was a great loss." Life is completely different. I mean, it's a 180. So
And you've never said one negative word
No.
around me. I mean,
I am not mad at him. I have never been mad at him. I mean, I get people snap. He was not a monster. He was just,
Wow.
not that you would ever mean this. I mean, intentionally, but would they say true forgiveness is when you can say thank you for the experience. Not that you would say thank you for that experience, but you've let all that go, and so
yeah,
you know he's gone, but we can still keep him alive if we let it.
yeah,
By thinking about it and talking about it. You never do that. She actually will, you know, holler at other people in the gym when they're working out, tell them, "Come on, get 2 more," you know, motivating them. And that's just kind of always been your personality.
yeah,
So it sounds like your siblings are kind of like that too then.
they are.
Mom and Daddy did a good job, it sounds
They
like.
did.
Did a very good job.
Either at any situation is either going to make you bitter or it's going to make you better, and it's your choice. It's ultimately your choice.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. Wow. So what advice would you give someone right now that maybe are going through a hard time? Maybe a change has happened in their life.
number one, take the time you need. You don't always have to be strong, and it's okay to be sad. Take the time. Just don't stay there. You know, you have to let it go. You can't change things. Things are going to, what happened has happened. You can't go back and change that pivotal event. What you do is move forward, you know, and that's on you.
Absolutely. Talk to us about what life is like right now.
Life is good right now. So I'm super active. I do CrossFit. I work out. I do MRFs. A MRF is where you run a mile and you do 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 air squats, and then you run another mile. Of course, I don't run, but I row, and you do all of that with a weight vest on.
She climbs a rope with no legs.
Yeah,
You know, because I mean, most people use the legs to assist.
to help you go up. So, I mean, I can climb a rope. I went snow skiing. I hike in the mountains, like moderate to difficult trails on one leg on crutches. So
I bet people are amazed.
they
To see
are.
you
It's pretty
doing
amazing.
that.
And I tell myself, I mean, I'm my own hero. Like if I saw me in public, I mean, I would be so inspired. So, and a lot of people stop me and, you know, they will tell me that I am inspiring. And again, to bring it around, it's God's story. So it's the visual appearance. And it's also the leopard, like the leopard print. I think a lot of people, it's easier for them to say, they'll say, "I really like your leg. The leopard print's really cool." So it's just a way to tell his story. I mean, his grace, his strength, and just the story of forgiveness. You know, the ultimate story of forgiveness.
Wow. Wow. This is amazing. This is amazing.
Yeah.
So you have a special someone in your life now?
I do. He's a very special someone.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And you're still practicing?
I'm still practicing. I work Monday through Friday, and I was working in the ER some on the weekends. But that was kind of a lot, so I cut back. But working full time.
I see her at 6 o'clock in the morning, and she's driving from Glendale. I mean, that would be tough for anyone. But she's always there. She's always on time, before time. She always sends me a text and tells me what body part we're on, because we kind of changed it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, just kind of the perfect client that you could have.
Man, that's all I can say. Wow, it's amazing. It's amazing. You know, I was so inspired by you. I sat down and talked to you just for a few minutes before we came in here, and really didn't do a proper introduction. We didn't do a proper start of our show like we normally do to Kelly. But I mean, I wanted to get right straight to the story because I have been dying to hear about it. It's
so
fascinating.
good. It's
It's
good.
amazing. You're so inspiring. So inspiring. I hope you'll come back sometime.
I will.
And
I
keep
would
us
love
posted
to.
how you're doing.
Absolutely.
Guys, I wish you could see her if you're listening to us. Again, she's incredibly beautiful, and you are beautiful inside.
Thank you.
I mean, amazing. What a great story. Kelly, is there anything that you want to wrap up with here?
No, I mean, she knows that.
Y'all talk every day almost,
Yeah, we see
don't
each
you?
other every day, or almost every day. and-
Seriously, you work out 5 days a week?
Mm-hmm.
I feel so inadequate, guys. Oh my gosh.
You
Oh
can
my
do it. You can do it.
I can do it. You know, we have a call at 8:30 with our agents in the morning, and several of them work out. And I mean, they're doing this 75 hard thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I just sit back and watch them and go, yes. Now I got to go do something. I feel like this is
Well, you know,
amazing.
women will say, well, you know, but I'm 45. Wait till you're 45. She goes, well, I'm 52.
Oh, my.
You know, and you can't say, and then she's also got one leg.
Well, she sure
Yeah.
doesn't look 52.
There's really no excuses.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, she's great inspiration for everybody in the gym. For me, just for everyone. I mean, there's no excuse. I could see a Nike commercial.
Oh yeah.
You know, just
I
do
can
it.
see a
you
book.
know.
Yeah.
I can see a TV.
Yeah.
I can see a movie.
Everyone said it needs to be a movie, and it does.
It does need to be a movie.
I mean, the topic is so relevant. You know, domestic violence happens to so many people and unnecessarily, and a lot of people turn a blind eye, and it's just unfortunate.
Have you been on any of these talk shows, national or anything?
So I did a lot of speaking right after it happened. Not so much recently. Just kind of been doing life, but who knows? And then COVID happened, so there were some interviews that were set up in Dallas and with the newspaper and stuff like that. That kind of fell through, but maybe
Your story needs to be told.
it does need to be told.
Because I'm telling you, we go through life and we whine about this and whine about that. You are such an inspiration, and getting to see you, sit here next to you, feel your energy is just incredible. And to hear you do this 5 days a week with Kelly, you work out, man,
It's
it's
inspirational.
amazing. It's amazing.
is.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, guys, thanks for joining us this week
Absolutely.
for another Elevate. Thank you for
Thank
being
you.
our
Yeah,
guest.
thanks for coming.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Thank you for having me.